Welcome to today's episode where we challenge some common sense notions about divorce using descriptive statistics. We'll explore how sociologists use data, specifically frequencies, percentages, and rates, to interpret social trends, especially around marriage and divorce. Hey there, I'm Dr. Medley Rath. I've been teaching sociology for over 20 years. I'm the author of Introduction to Sociology, and I run the Sociology Coach to help people like you make sense of the world. Let's dive in. Sociology isn't just about memorizing facts, it's about interpreting data. Today we'll learn how to read and interpret frequencies, percentages, and rates, and why it matters for understanding our world. Let's start with a question. Is the divorce rate on the rise? What evidence do you use to support your answer? It's easy to rely on assumptions, but data tells a more accurate story. Sociologists use descriptive statistics like frequencies, percentages, and rates to summarize patterns in data. For example, we might look at the percentage of people working from home or the rate at which people go to college. These numbers help us understand relationships and trends. Let's look at some real data. Here's a table showing marital status for men and women aged 70 and older. Notice how frequencies, or the raw numbers, and percentages, or the proportion out of 100, help us compare groups fairly. For example, the number of women who have ever married is higher compared to men, but about 95% of both men and women in this age group have ever been married. The percentage allows us to compare the two groups because it adjusts for the size of the group. Don't forget to check out my website for the study resources that match this episode. They'll help you really make sense of what we covered today. Check for that link in the description. So we know that most people who are at least age 70 have married at least once. Marriage is very common. But what about divorce? People are always saying divorce is also really common and growing. But is it? We can figure out if divorce is increasing, decreasing, or staying about the same by looking at the rate at which it is occurring. Rates describe how common or rare an occurrence such as birth, marriage, or divorce is in the population. Rates are usually calculated per 1,000 people, 10,000 people, or 100,000 people. The U.S. Census Bureau measures the divorce rate as the number of people reporting a divorce occurring in the past 12 months per 1,000 people 15 years and over. Based on this national data, divorce rates have declined since the 1980s. The figure shows that the U.S. divorce rate per 1,000 women aged 15 and over has declined from 10.5 in 2008 to 7.1 in 2022. This trend shows that divorce is becoming less common, especially among younger adults who are more likely to cohabitate or marry later. When people marry later, they are also older. They more often have higher income and possibly a college degree, which are protective factors against divorce. Here's another look at marriage and divorce rates. In 2024, there were about 2 million marriages and 674,000 divorces in the U.S. That's a marriage rate of 6.2 per 1,000 people and a divorce rate of 2.4 per 1,000. But remember, the statistic that 50% of marriages end in divorce is misleading. It doesn't track individual marriages over time. These two rates are for the number of marriages and divorces occurring in a single year. Most of these divorces are for marriages that occurred during a prior year. Common sense might tell us that divorce is common, but the data says otherwise. In 2016, over 76% of currently married men and 77% of women had only been married once. Only a small percentage had 2 or more marriages. This data also shows that some people get divorced more than once, again suggesting that not all marriages are at high risk of divorce. Understanding frequencies, percentages, and rates helps you become a critical consumer of data, whether that is in your classes or in everyday life. Thanks for joining us as we explored how data can challenge our assumptions about marriage, divorce, and society. Have you heard any statistics that sound far-fetched? Share in the comments. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.